Everyone, it's Joel from the Fun Pimps, aka Mad Mole. How's everybody doing today? Anyway, we're here to do some Q&A. I've got somewhere to be this weekend, so we're going to kick things off early. Marinxar wants to know, will we see 3D or crops as solid 3D models as opposed to intersecting 2D sprites? Some are, the ones that need it. The ones that are simple, we're going to leave as the 2D sprites because they run really quick that way. The 3D model ones are more expensive, but you know, we've got a new corn model that's a new 3D version, and I think the Yakas and Aloes are 3D. We'll see as time goes on, but you know, for now it's a mix. The almighty PMJ, what all will the traders be selling, and how will the quality and price of gear, if sold, be determined with our secret algorithm? I don't know. We've got formulas and loot lists, and I forgot all the, you know, pertinent details there, but I think it's going to, he'll have kind of a general stock, and then he's got the secret stash, and then that's based on kind of your level and some other criteria. I'm not exactly sure though. Red 1979, love the new Navezgane Canyon from the last video. Any chance that a similar canyon land formation could make its way into random gen? I'm not sure. I mean, Robert would know better. I know that, I mean, that one was handcrafted, so you know, cutting a big canyon that's nearly vertical like that in random gen might be difficult. If we got support for imaged based land masses, so basically cropping a height map and baking it into random gen, then I think we could pull it off. So that's something we're looking into doing at some point, maybe. I don't know. Random gen's looking pretty good though. I'm not sure it needs it. Evolution 3. I love watching Mad Mole's video updates, but the only thing that I find lets the game down at the moment is the tree pop up in the distance as you walk around. You're considering having the trees fade in so the effect isn't quite as distracting. I think we had distant stuff all blending in, you know, with all the new distant terrain stuff. Everything's you know, we've had to kind of revisit everything, the fog distance, and you know how the blending and all that. So I imagine that's just something that's on the list that we haven't got to yet. But yeah, ideally distant objects would fade in and not just pop. Sands I don't know, Fox, something like that. Sands to Fox. Moldy bread. Can you please add simple and logical action? Scrapping a moldy sandwich equals 2 moldy bread. I guess I need logic before I can consider that. I don't see. I see what you're saying. You want to basically have a use for those old moldy sandwiches. If we did that, we'd have to make it so, you know, it costs about 20 of those to make one moldy bread, because it would just, everybody would have antibiotics falling out their pockets, and that's not what we want. The intention of the sandwich is to basically, you know, force you to eat something nasty when you haven't prepared right, and you haven't got good food, you haven't done your hunting or whatever, I guess. But you know, it's always good to have uses, and you know, and turn lemons into lemonade basically. So yeah, we could look at that at some point. BE Power. Are there any plans to make the hazmat suit usable? Yeah, I don't think we'd put it in there if we weren't planning on something cool for it. Yep, radiation is planned. I mean, it's just the artists are ahead of the coders there, so we've got some, you know, radiation wear, but we don't have radiation yet. And we're hoping it will affect the looting, and we're coming up with this new system for level difficulty, and we want the loot to scale with that as well. So, and we want biomes to dictate to add or subtract from the difficulty also. So the new lush forest is going to be the easiest biome. The more foreboding it looks, the more nasty the zombies are going to be, and it's going to crank the levels up a little bit. Netza. Hi, Mad Mole. With the confirmed support to gamepads, we'll get some Love Steam controller. We'll get some, I don't know what a Love Steam controller is. SC could know when the game is in inventory menu looting your vehicle. Speak English, dude. I don't know, no idea what you're trying to say there. Maybe I'm stupid and read your sentence wrong, but it made no sense to me, so I don't know. Sorry. Widowmaker. First post, love the game. With all the tweaking you're doing with roads, are y'all gonna add big city highways like 4-lane highway interstates that go between town to town where you have a better chance of finding cars and a high spawn zombie spawns? I don't know. Who knows how many lanes those are? I mean, yeah, they're not the biggest roads, but I think they work, and you know, if we start cutting in, making the roads bigger, it's going to cut into real estate and all that. I don't know, you know. I don't think we have any plans for that, to be honest with you. Purple Heart, loving it. Back to this point, if we ever do another map, then probably yes, but I think we're pretty much in finish mode for Navezgane, and we've got to add the new Wasteland City in the bottom left, and then kind of a new Tucson type city on the bottom right yet. So, we're pretty much out of room, and it's getting pretty populated, and I'm not, you know, we're not planning on doing too much more. But with all the stuff we've done recently, and with the you know, the new POI building guys, Rick's kids, Alex and Christian, you know, we're talking about possibly making another map, another static world at some point. So if that happens, then that would be the opportunity to kind of do things right from the ground up, because we've learned so much since we started all this. So anyway, Purple Heart wants to know, will random gen caves in Alpha 15 still be the same as in Alpha 14? I don't know. Sorry. Big gaps in the world. Yeah, we're hoping to, you know, get something like, I don't know what alpha it was, but we had some pretty cool ones where we had some pretty winding, awesome cave networks, and I think they were too expensive to draw or calculate. But now that we're calculating random gen before you start the game, you know, maybe we can afford some fancier caves now. So we've definitely talked about it. I don't know if Alpha 15 will get that or not. It depends how much time we have and how much time we want to take and that sort of thing. So Captain Maddie wants to know about the desert biome town. I really like all your new POIs, but I've seen an old desert town with like 10 plus houses where it was all the same model and it felt so boring to loot. I hope you can remake that old town or put some other houses in the town. Yeah, we'll look into that. I am the Panzer. Or, yeah, okay, so flags. We have the ability to craft flags with either set symbols like countries, like a country's flag, or possibly with custom text options. Probably not. The flags are pretty expensive, so they're a developer-only item. You know, they have the cloth physics on them, and we need to protect that. Otherwise, you'll have these guys running around crafting 2,000 flags just to bring the server to a crawl. So probably not. And then, you know, adding custom text would be even harder. And you know, maybe it's possible. I don't know. I'm just shooting it down already without even asking anybody because I already kind of know. But maybe down the road, I don't know. We're getting signs in this update, so that's a pretty good start, I think. Red Devil, Mad Mole, have you considered putting a POI at the top of Mount Rockgore? I don't really place any of the POIs. You know, I did paint the Mount Rockgore, but we can see. You know, it's I kind of would like to see something like that for sure. So I guess time will tell. I was thinking something small and hard to reach and obscure. And so, you know, there's kind of a discovery factor to and reward for climbing the mountain kind of thing. So most likely, but we're not going to tell all right now, so you guys have a little bit to discover and, you know, find out for yourself when you play it. Stung Forever. An earlier vid said that spikes had been changed in an effort to balance them. Have you considered allowing spikes to damage zombies but not kill them? I don't see how that's possible, unless, you know, you can cripple them but they don't die. Is that what you mean? No matter how many spikes a player sets up that require interaction with the zombies rather than just hiding. I guess wait and see what we've got, you know, and kind of, I think it's playing a lot better, but, you know, I'm not sure exactly. I mean, it's kind of working, you know, how you describe a little bit. I mean, they're probably just going to smash your spikes, you know, instead of, if you don't get down there or they're not very cost effective right now. So anyway, I think didn't I demo them? I think they're pretty decent now. So, but, you know, once we're testing, we'll final balance and tune everything and go from there. So, Dunrick, perks snowball too much. Mad Mole, I run a Seattle server with the difficulty cranked up on max on all levels. With that said, once we leveled up the game, remains still a bit easy due to the heavy scaling of perks. Has any team noticed this? Maybe Horde mode will balance this out. Love the game, bro. You know, for everyone who says the game's too easy, there's 1,000 guys who say it's way too hard. So, you know, all we can do is make the game, and you guys can mod it out and make it harder if you want, but I think it's pretty challenging as is, and I think most people would agree with me. I mean, 7 days is considered a hardcore game. It's very difficult compared to most games. So, you know, if you're wanting it harder, you know, we've got options coming. So I think, you know, with the new scaled difficulty, the more successful you are, the harder the game's going to become. I think that's going to be solving this issue for you guys who are on day 200 and haven't died forever and thinking you're the boss of the world. Well, guess again, it's going to get hard. So it's going to be pretty cool. We're excited. All right, Simon Smarty Pants. Greetings, Mad Mole. In the Gulch preview, you mentioned the desire to revisit some old POIs and update them. Could these updates create risks of losing items and chests if players are using such POIs as bases? No, because the game loads chunks. If as long as you've done something to that chunk, it's saved your disk and it's saved how it was. So if you update, play a new game, that building won't change unless you find that same building in a new chunk that you're freshly exploring. Mad Mole, have you guys toyed with the idea of adding some sort of damage noise that would reduce, eliminate the SI of blocks to simulate rotting floors, decaying support beams, etc.? Yeah, actually, we've talked about it. You know, talk about something and implementing it are two different things. So, if and when we rewrite stability, we're going to try to do some kind of damage. You know, that's hard to explain, but basically, yeah, you know, so that the damage would propagate through several blocks on a big impact versus a single block. So basically secondary and, you know, the damage to surrounding blocks, something like that we've talked about. And yeah, it would be really cool to have floors randomly collapse in these decayed buildings when you're walking on them. Nefarious. Well, I've been gaming since I was 13 in 1986, think Bard's Tale and Wizardry, and I have to confess, this is the most fun I've had since childhood. I have it on PC and 2 Xbox copies. Awesome. That's awesome to hear. As a 43-year-old firefighter, however, I have to ask, why no fire station POI? I don't know, maybe we can squeeze one in. It seems like it could be done, so I'll have to keep that in mind. Thanks for the idea. Varnock, you mentioned in a previous video that we would be able to combine two gun parts to yield a slightly better one on the workbench. Will this yield gunsmithing experience? I'm not sure. I'll have to see, but that would actually, be kind of cool to get some XP from that too, because you are losing the part, so, it makes sense to me. Related to the above, would we be able to combine other things like clothing or weapons to improve the quality? Yes, anything with quality you can combine right now and get a better item from. So save those old moldy ball caps you find, and eventually you'll get a purple out of them. Don't know your name, not gonna try to pronounce that. Hi Mad Mole, can you add in A15 a block totally green to use in creative mode? I refer like a green screen block to make chroma keys. It will be funny for future montages. I guess I don't know what a chroma key is. I guess I could make some, I don't know, the block, the blocks are getting tight, I guess, or modders say they're tight, even though I think there's a good 600 blocks free yet. I'm not sure. Maybe not that many. Maybe, I guess 2048 is the limit, and there's 1900 and some I saw today. So I could, but it might, I don't know, we'll see. Joe Mind 1, radiation zone. Mad Mole, are there any plans to expand the radiation zone? For example, add select POIs that can only be accessed using the rad suit. Yes, that's why we built the rad suit, for future radiation. Dan LW, would the team consider replacing the Navezgane radiation zone with random world generator terrain? No, it's a static map, and we don't really have any plans to randomize it. And the radiation is radiated, you can't go there, so I just don't see the purpose of that, I guess. So hey, a personal question. Hey Mad Mole from Imperial Dragon 99. I was wondering, how did you become so good at making textures? Did you learn from YouTube videos, or did you go to school to learn it? I was wondering because I plan to do something similar in my career, and I'm having trouble learning from YouTube videos. I guess I started drawing my own comic books as a kid, and and painting, I guess painting in high school and whatnot. And then, I was always drawing, painting, building stuff out of clay. Pretty much any medium I could get my hands dirty into, I was into. I was never fabulous. I mean, yeah, of course, everybody said, yeah, you're good or whatever. But actually, I've been recently back into trying to get better at art, and I've been drawing. Let's see. There's a Clint Eastwood I'm working on right now, just a painting in Photoshop. So there's Clint. And let's see. Other than that, I mean, just working with other guys, picking up stuff from them, and using the internet to learn. Polycount is a pretty good resource for learning how to create game art. But it's just a matter of just doing stuff, really. I mean, just get out there and look at other art a lot. Just practice. Practice your craft, and if you do it a lot, you'll get better and better. And but I've learned a lot focusing on my 2D painting skills lately. I mean, I would say I'm probably expert modeler and expert at 3D, and I'm pretty damn good at rigging and all that stuff. And I'm okay at animating. Don't have the patience for it, but I can do it. But I've really been focusing on my my 2D skills, and trying to sharpen those up, and just learning how to paint and draw and all over again using YouTube. Cube Brush, Cycra, those are good YouTubers that I've learned a lot from. I'm always I've seen nearly every video on those guys' site in the last 4 months, and every night I just pick something. Hey, I've never done that before. That's a different approach, and I'll do a little tutorial. I'll draw one little thing. But the key is to do it, you know, every day, whether you feel like it or you don't feel like it. You show up, you draw, you know, you go to the gym, you work out. It's like anything. It's not always fun. You don't always feel creative, but hey, you go and you draw, and some nights I'm amazed at what I've drawn, and the next night I'm like, this is garbage. But you know, overall they keep getting better and better. So you know, stick with it and keep practicing. And you know, one guy said, you know, you just got to put the mileage in, and it's so true. I mean, but here's the thing: one random trip putting that mileage in, all of a sudden your eyes open and you learn something, and it's like you have a whole new skill set. And then you know, you kind of run that drive for a while, and then pretty soon you're gonna watch another tutorial or whatever, or you're gonna have an aha moment just drawing on your own, and boom, all of a sudden you can draw stuff, you know, even better. So it's just keep practicing. I'm still not anywhere near as good as I want to be, but you know, I've always been doing a lot of textures for games. But you know, anyway, just keep practicing and you'll get better, and stick with it. Let's see, Kyler 15, 2 quick questions. Will the traders stock rotate, or will they always be selling the same things? I'm pretty sure they have a revolving stock, so that remains to be seen, but I'm pretty sure that was in the design. Oh, I love my cappuccino. Thank you guys for the Wolf coffee cappuccino maker. It's amazing. I couldn't have afforded it without all you guys, so really appreciate it. It's my favorite feature of the house. Okay, next to the swimming pool. It's getting some love lately. So anyway, might be a bit late. Are there any plans for containers inside your inventory? Container inside of a container. I don't know. We've talked about a page 2 though, and you know, basically possible, like you equip cargo pants and then you get a few extra slots in your backpack or something maybe, or you know, most likely though it's just going to be an expanded backpack if and maybe we get to that. So don't count on it. It's something I want, so at some point it's just a matter of how do we put that into the GUI. You know, that's the big question. That's always a problem. So usually, like, doing what we want to do is easy, but how do we communicate it to the player, and how do you get it on the screen is the challenge. Joe Perry, I heard you reply many times, LOL, that the traders will have land claims which will prevent us from taking them over. My only concern would be my eventual plan, which is to put a circle of claims around the traders, then wall it off and call it my own settlement. Is there any way to prevent this? I know claim blocks are being reworked, so we can expect that rework to prevent the type of claiming I just mentioned. Well, the trader's not only got his no build zone, I mean, or you can't, you know, he's invulnerable, but he's also got padding outside of his land claim where you can't build either. So I think the amount of land claims, and you know, in order to wall that guy in so that he's your own personal trader, I think it's going to be an enormous amount of work. So I mean, if somebody's determined though, there's nothing we can do to stop that. But be prepared to spend a physical week of your life doing it. Is it really worth spending a week of your life building a wall just so he's your own guy? I doubt it. So you know, if it's a pretty big area, I imagine it would take quite a while to wall him in, unless you're, you know, cheating and getting all the blocks and whatever out of the cheat menu. But you know, anyway, +1 for Fido Stakes. But I meant that if Kingslayer attacks me and has his dog with him, will I be able to tame the dog after killing Kingslayer? I don't think so. I think if his dog's still alive, he's just going to return home. That would be my guess. We're not there yet, so no guarantee on that solution. it's a good cappuccino. Creator. Suggestion, zombie ragdolls while falling. With more extreme heights coming from Alpha 15, would you consider making zombies ragdoll when they fall from a great height? Right now they only ragdoll after they've been killed. Maybe. I guess, yeah, I'd consider it. We'll have to see how hard that is to do. It would definitely be awesome to see them ragdoll down a bunch of cliffs and get wrecked at the bottom and then get up if they can, you know, that would be pretty cool. Slim, are we going to see a more sensibly laid out small towns in Random Gen? They look more like Dyersville with driveways, sidewalks, garages. Hopefully, maybe not this build. Robert has this socket system he's talking about where he can connect everything to these sockets. So hopefully that encompasses what you want. And I'm back. That's funny that you mentioned the art earlier. I minimized my desktop to show you the Clint Eastwood desktop, but apparently it was already recording my other monitor, which had that on it the whole time. So I changed my background. This is a Black Widow, and I'm drawing that. I've been drawing that. That's more of a long-term drawing. I've probably got 30 hours in that, where I've got about 3 hours or 4 maybe in Clint. But yeah, it's just basically an exercise in copying a photograph as close as I can, I guess. I'm kind of getting tired of it, but that one's nearly done. I'm pretty proud of it. But you know, as I get better, I'm starting to see these flaws in it now that I've got a better eye for art, or catching, you know, what else it needs to be, you know, photo authentic. And it's like, oh no, I'm starting to see stuff wrong with it that I don't want to take the time to change. So I'm basically going to wrap it up pretty soon and call it a done piece. But yeah, anyway, it turned out pretty good. Back on to the questions, and maybe I'll change the background a little bit in between as I do breaks, just to give you guys something interesting to look at. And I don't feel like fixing the capture card to capture the questions that I'm reading on my other monitor right now, because it's totally dumb how you do it. It's a bug with, I think it's a bug with you know, the recording software, but whatever. Hey Mad Mole from Flint and Steel, thanks for all the hard work TFP put into this great game. You're welcome. My question is there a feature or item in this game that you regret putting in, something that, looking back now, you should not have added? I don't know. 7 different iterations of the trees since I personally had to do it. So it was like, originally the trees were block trees, and then we decided, that these cube, I just could not make a tree look good out of blocks. I mean, it looked too Minecrafty, and it just, no matter what texture I put on that cube, it didn't work. So Chris put in the ability to like import I think he made some branches, and that was version 2. So he made some 3D shapes, and I retextured those, and they looked a little better, but there was still a block trunk with these arms that kind of stuck out, and they weren't they had to go at a 90-degree angle just like a block. So that was a big waste of time. And then I don't know what version Alpha, that might have been what we had for Alpha 1, I don't remember. And then we added support to let me make my own branches, and those looked a little better. So I would model my own branch, and it would stick out of the block tree, and maybe we added a little taper and a pyramid point to the tree. That was probably version 3. And then finally we were like, let's do some Unity trees or something. So we got Unity trees in, maybe, I'm not sure, but it seems like there was about 7 iterations, and finally we got speed tree support, because the Unity trees were, maybe we had a version where we modeled the trees ourselves, and then we made our own billboard system, and then we switched to the Unity trees, and I think maybe they had their own billboards, and then we got speed tree because it was faster and the branches blew in the wind and it was better, and it, you know, it ran way better, so it was a no-brainer. So I redid the trees one more time. That time we just bought trees off the asset store, and you know, I tweaked the art on them a bit. I adjusted the branches, and you know, you use the speed tree, you can do anything to a tree. So that, and I don't know if there's anything else. I mean, I guess some of the bigger regrets were, you know, it wasn't so much something we added. It was more like, okay, we started off with that grid, and we wanted to get rid of or the grid crafting, and we wanted to get rid of the grid crafting from the start. I never liked it. We wanted kind of a list craft like we have now, and it was just taking the time to bite the bullet to do that. And there was a lot of resistance from the community when we pulled out the sharp sticks and all that crud, because it was just you're not really doing anything. You're just processing. You know, is it really that fun to sit there and take a tree and then whittle it down to a stick, and then whittle it down to a sharp stick, and then make something? When you're just manipulating wood, you might as well just have a longer craft time on it and put wood in there and craft it, so you don't have all that inventory management. Because as you guys are going to see, there's a lot of new items coming in Alpha 15, and you're going to be so glad there's no sharp sticks cluttering up your inventory, because we've added, you know, there's just a lot of new items. You know, there's always, every build we're adding more items, and you know, inventory management, you guys are going to be begging for more space, and you know, maybe you still want your sharp sticks, I don't know. But you know, this is a question that could probably go on all night, so I'm going to leave it at those two examples and move on. But for the most part, you know, you can look at Alpha 1 and see that the game is still the game. I mean, it's evolved, it's improved, it's way better, but you know, there's still that core gameplay. You're gathering stuff, you're building, you're crafting things, you're building a fort, a base. You know, it's you know, the core game is still there. We're just embellishing it and making it better all the time. So, Buggy, any plans on random generation or random generating caves underground that are not attached to any sort of POI? You mean in Navigaine? I guess random, I mean, because random, they're already kind of not attached to a POI. So if you're digging underground, you have a chance to break into a cave system. These would have to be small for stability, but maybe offer other reasons for exploring. Oh, absolutely, that could probably happen. And I'm back again. This is like a alpha I drew, I don't know, probably a little over a month, 2 months ago, I don't know. Anyway, Love the Game by Dawn of the Dead 1. Question: what do you think of adding a superstore that has a little bit of everything, like a super Walmart? I think that's probably would be pretty cool. Maybe we'll get something like that eventually. You know, I don't know if we've got room for a super big store, but we could have kind of a general, some kind of general store that's got a little bit of everything. It would be pretty awesome. Just want to say that I love the game. I've not even played another game in the last couple of years. I have logged about 15 hunters and don't see it ending anytime soon. All I need is some DLC every now and then, and I'm good for life. That is awesome. All right, Roland. Have any balancing changes been made to the system of experience, skill, perks, and leveling for Alpha 15? Will that be part of the game? Will be about the same as it's been for Alpha 14? No, we're always rebalancing everything. We're waiting on a few more features from, I think, Robert, and then Gaz can go nuts with kind of some retooling of some systems that he's been talking about for quite a while. So yeah, hopefully that all happens pretty soon, and those changes are nice. But yeah, we want to definitely do some more balance work. That's definitely on the radar, and it'll be happening with this build. It'll be always, we're going to be always fine-tuning the balance and tuning the game, but I would expect some pretty decent changes for 15. Kaderant, Could you allow all items to be repaired without reading recipes at the cost of quality? Allow them to be repaired. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. A huge degradation. Oh, maybe. I'm not sure how much work that would be. It might not be hard to do. Shadow 613, multiple save points, spike locator. Will there be ever multiple save points, spawning points you can choose from where you've made beds? Maybe. Now that we've got wellness and there's a cost to dying, you know, of course, there's still no cost for somebody who's like already died a bunch and they have 70 wellness, because it won't go any lower than that unless we did implement something like that. You know, maybe. I guess the biggest reason we pulled out multiple beds that we used to have was because people were using them as teleporters, and you know, you could just continuously grief somebody if you had a bed near their fort and they kill you and you just keep coming and they keep coming. It's like there's no way to shut these guys down. They got all these bed rolls. So I don't know. I mean, if we can actually come up with a solid idea for you know, dying is costly, then I see no issue with it, and we can bring that back. Ouch Quit It wants to know, why does the game engine take such a memory hit with UMA zombies compared to the regular in-game ones? It doesn't, but every zombie you see has a memory footprint, and so if I add 50 new UMA zombies, it's just the same as adding 50 handcrafted zombies, if that makes sense to you. At least if they're all alive at once, you know, until they're died and then their texture can get destroyed. When will the fireman zombie become a reality? I don't know. We'll need some fireman assets first, like a fireman hat and at least a coat like they wear. I don't think we can pull that off. Maybe if we colored the duster yellow, it could look like that. Maybe, I don't know. But it would take a little bit of work, and I'm not sure how many firemen you'd see in the apocalypse. I mean, in real life, you know, you never see one unless there's a fire. I don't know, because they're sitting in their building waiting for the fire. So I don't, you know, it's hard to say. I don't know. Anyway, Dakova. Hi Mad Mole, been playing since Alpha 6, and I feel like I've gotten to know you a bit and would love to get to know who else is contributing to the project. Is it possible we could get a short montage of the team with some bio info? I think that's on our website, but maybe it isn't. I don't know. I guess we could get to that eventually. Excelled Slayer. Any new weapons? Will new guns and melee weapons be added for Alpha 15? I don't know. We were working on a spear for a while, but I don't think it's ready, and I think it's going to need some code. And at this point, we're already like saying no to any new stuff. So, you know, we're leaning more towards Alpha 16. So that looks like it. That's all the questions. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with a video showing some new stuff. Have a good night.